Okay, so this is going to be a deep dive and a little bit of a recap for people, but there also will be some new information. So if you're not ready for that today, I will see you next time. I see a lot of people talking about Oklahoma versus Castro Huerta, where the Supreme Court ruled that non-Indigenous courts can prosecute non-Indigenous people that committed crime on Indigenous land. I do have some resources here that you can go over more in depth. The reason why the McGirt hearing was so huge was because it actually ruled that a lot of Oklahoma was technically tribal land. And in the 2 years since the original ruling, 5 additional tribes held similar rulings, which left 43% of Oklahoma ruled as Indian country. And what the Supreme Court did with Oklahoma versus Castro was actually narrowing the McGirt decision. So what I said before about allowing non-tribal governments to prosecute non-tribal citizens who committed crimes on tribal land. Something else that occurred this year was the Supreme Court rolling back to a Trump-era ruling with the Clean Water Act. I've seen a bunch of people talking about how the whole act was repealed. That's not entirely accurate. What happened was they reinstated a Trump-era rule that curtailed the power that the states and tribes had to block pipelines and energy projects. And now I'm seeing a lot of people talking about ICWA. This is something that I have been talking about a lot in relation to the Indian boarding schools that I spend a lot of time educating on this platform. So ICWA is the Indian Child Welfare Act, and it was actually created in response to the treatment of Indigenous children, specifically at the U.S. Indian boarding schools. My link page, again, has a lot of information about learning about ICWA, the court challenge, as well as residential school history. So a key thing for you to understand right now is that ICWA is being challenged because a white family is looking to adopt a Native child. They are claiming reverse racism. But the lawyer who is doing the work is actually Gibson Dunn. Please Google who that is. They're working pro bono, and they have done work fighting tribal casinos and other tribal cases. They have also represented oil interests. They've represented Chevron, Shell, Amazon, Walmart. They also represented Transfer Energy, which was the pipeline behind Standing Rock. All this considering that tribal fossil fuel is valued at about $1.5 trillion. It's always oil executives.